we look at AI adoption phases. Okay, they are basically three main phases that we can look at when we want to look into AI adoption. First is we need to get our organization ready. So that is establishing the guardrail and the handrail. This is the place whereby we look into vision, governance, and readiness, right? Before we plunge, right, into our investment. Next is we look into how we can deliver AI value. This is where we will learn to prioritize our use case, look into the business alignment, and pilot our AI projects. Last but not least, once we have our measuring our value and also started our pilot, we will be able to look at how we can scale, right? Today, looking at some of the feedback and the survey, most of the organization jump straight into pilot, which is phase 2, as you can see in here, right? So that's why as they progress, we'll find that we have an issue whereby business might claim that there is no value delivered, which is supposed to happen in phase 1. And then the next phase might be also, how can we scale for all our project, which is at phase 3. So sometimes companies start at phase 2, right? So no matter where you are, whether you are starting at number 1 or you are halfway through at number 2 without number 1 or 3, or you are moving into number 3, you can apply this concept. Okay, so in phase 1, what do we look at? Okay, so in the first phase, phase 1, we are looking at readiness. Why AI? What is the business value? What is the use case that align with the value? What is the success metrics that we're going to measure on the use case itself? Because many company can identify their use case, but they fail or they forget to align back to what the business want to done. And in fact, for AI use case, it has actually tie up with business value always. And at the end of the day, success metrics will be one that actually help the business to achieve their success metrics. Okay. And next is governance. Do we have governance? And last is what are the capability that is required? So we need to measure the capability as well, so that we know that what do we need to build, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day of this phase, we should have a strategic alignment before technology investment. But for those that we have already jumped in to look at AI pilot, or we are piloting, but without looking into this phase, it's okay. The next phase, you can actually come back in again and start to measure, right? And start to ensure that your use case have your success metrics, your governance is in place, right? And you can also look at some of the missing capability. Okay, phase 2, I think is looking into how you can deliver the value, right? How you can have more structured pilot for learning, and what is your success? How can you measure your ROI, right? How can we prepare everyone for adoption? So the outcome is early but measurable business value so that we can build that to ready to scale next. Okay. Then phase 3 is whereby we are looking at how we can repeat our success, right? How we can continue to monitor so that we can continue to improve, okay, to make it sustainable. So, and also at this stage, we are looking at how we can manage our AI agents and automation. As many of us will know, right? For those who have subscribed with AI tools, it's not cheap, right? When you use the credit. So is there a better way to measure or not, the costs, and also how we can manage all this better so that it can streamline? How can we manage? Because nowadays, we are also looking into workflow, right? And we are also looking into agent as part of the workforce. So how can that integrate, right? And between the human and also the agent. Okay. So with that, from a business architecture perspective, that's how we would like to recommend. That's how you can prepare your organizations. There are 6 pillars here. Okay, first, we will look at defining AI vision. I'm not too sure how many of you, although you have tried on your pilots, right? How many of you have your AI vision ready? Okay, and you at this stage, you also might want to look at your governance and also your readiness in terms of organization and in terms of your data as well. Okay, so that is the first pillar. Second, we are looking into AI-driven experience opportunities. As you know, in terms of customer experience, right, there are many things that we can do to help to enhance the customer experience. So this is the stage whereby we look at our existing workflow and customer journey, and we want to identify how AI can help to enhance this journey. Okay. Number 3 is capability. Every organizations would have to identify its capability, what it can do to deliver its product and services. So the third step is to look at what are the AI capability that is required, right? And also whether our data is ready, right? And fourth is on the process itself. Now with automation, augmentation, or with human, how does this work together and link together? Is there a better way to track this and to design this? So that is our fourth pillar. Fifth is focusing on more on workforce. How can we look into workforce competency and collaboration between different departments and the collaboration between AI and human as well? Okay. Last but not least, we will look into AI use case. We will look into the success metrics for each of the use case and to how you can justify the use case so that you can prioritize the use case, and at the end of the day, you can have a portfolio and a roadmap of initiative. And on top, how you can track actually your AI initiative such that because you'll be running different initiative at the same time, right? How do you ensure that the overlap is being taken into considerations, and how do you keep track, the different versions of the applications and when to obsolete technology and when to actually introduce new one. So this step is quite important as well, right? So these are the 6 pillars of business transformation. So with that, you will have a very clear AI strategy. You will establish your governance framework, prioritize your investment, have a scalable operating model, AI-ready workforce, as well as measurable business value. So I think these are some of the business value that organization is looking at. Okay, so this is how a typical transformation will look like. In the first phase, we'll be looking into establishing the AI visions, principles, governance, as well as doing a readiness assessment. Second phase, we'll be looking into identify the relevant use case that align with the business, looking into selecting the pilot based on the prioritization, and also preparing the workforce, right? At the same time, we will be selecting 3 to 5 maybe pilot projects and to see whether the value can be measured. And we will start to work on how to scale for the next phase, right? So when we reach at the end of our pilot, we will have to decide how we want to scale up. So that's where our phase 3 will come in. We will look at enterprise AI operations. How can we in place the agent? How can we monitor them? How can we measure the cost as well? And we will, of course, to have the continuous improvement at phase 3.
Are you ready to transform your business? Visit us at atdsolution.com for more information.